Saudi Arabia is known for its hostile climate of little rainfall. However, a shocking phenomenon is currently happening in the desert land. Surprisingly, the desert is rapidly turning into fertile farmlands, and this is a shocking phenomenon to even scientists. What is happening in this desert? Let's find out. Saudi Arabia just shocked the entire industry with this. Saudi Arabia, which spans most of the northern and central Arabian Peninsula, is a new nation with a long history. The country occupies almost 4/5 of the Arabian Peninsula. It is bounded to the north by Jordan, Iraq, and Kuwait, to the east by Qatar, the Persian Gulf, the United Arab Emirates, and Oman, to the southeast by a section of Oman, to the south and southwest by Yemen, and the west by the Red Sea and Gulf of Aqaba. With a land area of about 2,150,000 kilometers square, it is also the fifth largest country in Asia. But did you know, despite being a very popular country, Saudi Arabia has long been faced with the problem of desertification? There are forests, grasslands, mountain regions, and deserts in Saudi Arabia, which have diverse topography. There are no rivers or lakes or areas of abundant natural vegetation because rainfall is scant to non-existent. Over the centuries, through oases and then desalination plants, the Saudi people have found enough water to support their daily lives. But a relatively recent national effort has brought changes to the desert and created much greater demands for water resources. From the sky, the Saudi landscape is checkered with green, showing farm fields made possible by irrigation. Enormous buildings nearby house tens of thousands of milk cows, whose drinking and cooling needs are prodigious. The water to perform these miracles in the desert is pumped from far below the surface, from aquifers filled thousands of years ago, when the climate in Saudi Arabia was much wetter. Water in this most improbable place gave the nation the hope to achieve its long-sought goal of feeding itself rather than importing food from other countries. However, this solution has a limited lifespan, and the end is near. Saudi Arabia has actively tried to facilitate plant growth in the Syrian desert by drawing water trapped deep in the ground. Green fields capable of growing wheat and other crops started showing up on satellite images in 1991 and have increased dramatically ever since. It is unknown how much water is trapped underground, but in 2012, hydrologists estimated it would only be economical to pump water from the desert for around 50 years. However, this most recent vegetation is not man-made and has been blamed on excessive rain. The crop that is grown widely in Saudi Arabia is wheat, which has been the staple food of the Middle East for thousands of years. Yields vary according to the quality of the soil and the amount of rain, but they are generally low. Saudi Arabia enriches its soils with fertilizers made from natural gas. The kingdom has also tried to develop hybrid wheat varieties and produce wheat without irrigation, as a way to increase productivity without using more water. Saudi Arabia's food production relies heavily on water drawn from wells under the fossil aquifers that have been in existence for millions of years. There are 3 such aquifers, only one of which remains active. The kingdom has an ambitious program to reduce water use. It is developing drip irrigation and other methods to increase efficiency and cut waste. It is also considering ways to reuse local wastewater for agriculture. Saudi Arabia is taking advantage of its vast desert to create large farms in order to become more self-sufficient in food production. The kingdom's farming sector is currently worth $30 billion and accounts for 3.5% of the country's gross domestic product, GDP. It's one of the largest markets for agricultural imports in the world, with food imports accounting for around 80% of the country's total consumption. Saudi Arabia has at least 70 million date palm trees, which are grown on a total area of around 5 million acres. Barley is grown in Saudi Arabia on around 500,000 acres and corn on about 50,000 acres. Coffee and dates are 2 iconic products in a famous Saudi combination. Coffee is embedded in the Saudi values of hospitality, music, and poetry to such an extent that it is recognized as a core element of Saudi folk heritage. Saudi Arabia is ranked 50th in the world in terms of the quantity of coffee beans production. Al-Mohanad Al-Marwai, co-founder and CEO of the Arabian Coffee Institute, told Arab News that the types of coffee beans in the kingdom are yet to be determined. The main types are Arabica. However, the main varieties are still under DNA studies to determine what the kingdom produces. Coffee crops are found mainly in Jazan, while there are several coffee plantations in Al-Baha and Aqaba. The mountainous area's humid and cool environment and fertile soil are ideal for coffee cultivation, which depends entirely on seasonal rainwater. Jazan is also famous for its mango trees. In 2018, the area was granted a geographical indication, a product name or sign that corresponds to a specific geographical location or origin, for mangoes. The success of the mango crop in the area is due to its fertile soil and abundant groundwater, which make this tropical tree one of the distinctive fruits of the region. Through the Sustainable Agricultural Rural Development Program launched by Ministry of Environment, Water and Agriculture of Saudi Arabia, the Jazan region has made great strides in developing mango cultivation and expanding production. The program aims to improve the rural agricultural sector and raise the standard of living of rural families. It also aims to increase production efficiency, improve lifestyle, and achieve food security, including supporting mango cultivation. With over 60 varieties of mangoes, production in the Jazan region witnessed a leap in terms of annual crop quantity from 18,000 tons in 2005 to more than 65,000 tons in 2022, with 19,109 farms and over 1 million mango trees. Muslims, like other Abrahamic religions, believe at the end of the world and the Day of Judgment. According to a tradition of the Prophet Muhammad, there are several signs that that day is coming. The land of the Arabs would go back to lots of greenery and rivers, as it once was, is one of them. In the region around Mecca, an average of 112 millimeters of rain falls per year. In the Netherlands, this is around 870 millimeters. Normally there is relatively little rain around Mecca, much less than in recent months in that region. You cannot necessarily say that one extreme rain shower in Saudi Arabia in December is due to climate change. After all, the weather is always erratic, but the chance of these kinds of extremes is increasing all over the world, says Leo Meyer, director of Climate Contact, which aims to make knowledge about climate change more accessible. Global warming in the last half-century means that more water vapor is retained. That vapor also has to settle somewhere, explains Meyer. Some theologians see them as prophecies and miracles of the Word of God in the Quran. But according to Umar Rayad, professor of Arabic and Islamic studies at the University of Leuven, there are many Muslim scholars who believe the hadith, which has been handed down for years, is not always reliable. That's why one has to be careful with it, he says. In prehistoric times, Arabia was green, says Rayad. A lot of archaeological research is now being done on this. For example, the Green Arabia Project, where scientists are looking for the green origin of the area. This December, however, rainfall reached record levels and lethal floods wreaked chaos across the city. Pilgrims visiting the Great Mosque of Mecca had to make their way through largely flooded areas under heavy rainfall to pay their respects. If not the end of the world, the grass seems to be a welcome gift for the holy cities after months of thunderstorms and hardship caused by the floods. So that's it. Please like, share, and comment your thoughts below if you liked this video. Remember to subscribe to see our next video. Stay safe, and we will be back soon with another video.